Organizing in Maine definitely has like an aspect of isolation, geographic isolation specifically to it. The fact that Maine is like 70% rural is like a particular way that organizing happens here. Just this idea of what it is to be a neighbor and to create abundance out of scarcity. Portland Outright is a youth-led queer and trans organization, and we work to build the power of queer and trans young people through organizing for gender, racial, and economic justice. And we're here in Portland, Maine. So we've been doing work at Long Creek Youth Development Center for 2.5 years. And what I really think is so beautiful about the work that we do at Long Creek is that it's a youth-led and initiated project. And then sort of specifically on the ground, like we understand that doing systems work means that folks of color in our state are more directly impacted, more severely impacted by all of the things that we're trying to organize around and against and to transform. The work around incarceration has become like a central part of Outright's work for a number of reasons, because there's a lot of momentum in Maine around reforming, reimagining, transforming the juvenile justice system here, but particularly a member of Outright named Maze Knowles passed away while incarcerated at the facility in 2016, which really elevated our organization and our members to be part of re-envisioning what was happening at the facility, to be at the table as we sort of figured out what the juvenile justice system could look like and to transform it into something that heals instead of punishes.
Some of the ideas and the artwork represented here are from Portland Outright and Maine Inside Out members, some of whom are still inside locked facilities, some who are in adult facilities, some at Long Creek and residential, and those people are very much here with us tonight in the audience and in the work. We also worked extensively with young folks inside of Long Creek and in the community to come up with the questions that we're going to be asking the candidates tonight.
And our primary tool for organizing is visual arts. And so a lot of our visual arts projects have been designed specifically so they can be like carried across the barriers of prisons and jails and mental health facilities. And so we've done a couple of projects that involve like getting feedback and input from like all of our members everywhere. And then our group of community organizers will bring that down into a few questions or ideas that we'll take to a print shop and we'll print out, and then we'll send them back or carry them into a facility and folks can add their artwork or ideas. We are really excited to be prepping to launch our first campaign in 2019, and it's a youth-led campaign with the goal of ending youth incarceration in Maine through expanding community-based alternatives to incarceration and the options available to young folks in our state. And it's a collaboration between Portland Outright and Maine Inside Out, with support from Maine Initiatives and some national support from the Youth First Initiative. And we're really excited to have a youth-led campaign for youth justice, and what it means for us as a queer and trans, a majority trans organization to be doing juvenile justice work in our state is really powerful. And to have those voices at the table from the design of a campaign is really special. The funding from Trans Justice Funding Project, y'all are our first national funder, and what it did was to open some doors for us, so folks were like, oh, they're paying attention to Portland Outright, like maybe we should too. But it also was this funding that meant so much because it is from trans communities and is a different sort of affirmation of the work that we are doing. And we want to do work that is for collective liberation, that is supported by our broader community, but also the work that we do is for our community and the people that we're on the ground with. Trans justice to me is about possibility and is about trans people having everything that they need to survive and to be well. Trans justice in organizing is about robust, well-funded, well-resourced trans liberation work that is deeply connected to the work of collective liberation. And so through that, trans justice is trans people organizing for each other's survival and well-being, on the road to the collective liberation that we all know is possible.